How you doing, guys? Welcome to Debating Woes with your host, Judge Dre. I am going to sit here and post a link in the chat room so you guys can join the show. So we'll be starting momentarily. We did a last-minute topic change because I realized one of our competitors had actually done the same topic that I had planned on doing. So I plan we'll go ahead and change that to there. How you doing, Theo? Uh, But that's what I said. We figured we'd go ahead and change the topic there. I actually got a friend of mine who's actually sitting here he's actually watching from one of the guys I know that work with. He's actually sitting here watching our show for the first time. So that's why I'm definitely trying to do a show tonight and get everything going. Got a couple topics we can work on here today, but I figure we'll leave it open. We'll go ahead and do something traditional, different tonight. We'll go ahead and start with an open topic right away, and then we'll roll into what we're going to do for today. The link has actually been posted, so anybody who wants to join the show can. Please hit that like, share, subscribe, and definitely donate button because that's what keeps the show rolling. I was going to talk about actually the case with the football player from San Francisco 49ers who said that, he did a peaceful protest by not standing during the national anthem. I sit there and laugh because I sit here and read all the comments and stuff that were going on about the poor guy, and they're calling him all types of names and all like this. But I'm saying, well, God dog, it's not like he did anything extremely bad, like go out and kill somebody. To me, that's the best way. If you want to protest, say fine. Picture all the sport players just say, you know what, fine, until you guys get this crap right with the with the how police are treating people, we're not going to go ahead and we're not going to do this. I mean, stuff like that would get done because people would, they definitely don't want to see that done, and they'll definitely go ahead and work on, changing the laws. One of the things I've always thought about when it comes to changing the laws, when it comes to these police shootings, is that it should all be investigated by an independent source. That way, for sure what's going on. What are your thoughts on that there? How you doing, Theo? How you doing, Check? It's been one of those days, I'll tell you that. I'd actually almost canceled the show up to the last minute because I was having problems with one of the houses I work on. How you doing there, Ashes? But I thank you guys for coming to the show tonight. How you doing, Raphael? I see, are we having problems?
I'm good.
You're sitting in the dark there, huh?
Yeah, I had to get in the bed, man. And plus, I'm like, I need to lay down. I just got out of I almost got left by I'm just tired, bro. I just got home. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
got home. Them 3-hour classes, they last long, and I was literally like, I felt myself kind of like falling asleep, but I would wake back up every time. I don't know if the professor was seeing me,
Right.
but I was falling asleep like a couple times.
Right.
I guess because I'm really not that interested into this math class. I need to get interested.
Well, everybody has their own has their own subject that they're, weren't that good at. I say math, I was actually pretty good at math and science. My subject that I was always bad at was social studies. I had trouble remembering dates. I can tell you what happened and who did it, but don't ask me to tell you the date it happened. I couldn't tell you that, or what order it happened in. That was always one thing I couldn't remember, dates and everything.
And the thing about this math teacher, he not doing this stuff on the book. We are like, what are you doing? Because the stuff in the book, the content in the book doesn't match what he telling us.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I'm kind of like worried about.
Well,
But I said, I'm just gonna look at all them notes from the first beginning, even though I've been looking at them. But I'm like, dang, you're not even, and even some of my classmates like you're not even teaching this stuff from the book, man. Like,
well, most of the time it'll always be like that. That's one thing with as you get into college, you're gonna notice a lot of that. But have you been following the latest news? I was sitting here looking today. They had a standoff at Chris Brown's house. I'm sitting here like, God dog, everybody's going crazy.
I saw that. I saw that at my school today. I was because I get to school early under because Natural Little Sunshine they got damn schedule. So I got to get there early so I can make sure I won't be late. Cause they
Wow.
professors they get on us about being late. If you they say that you can be like you it's a certain time that you got to get there before you late. And I don't feel like dealing with it because I think you only get 3 absences or something like that, 3 tardies, something like that. But yeah, I saw that, man. I was like, what the fuck is going on? But Chris Brown always is some shit, dog. Chris Brown always is some shit, man.
He's known for being kind of childish anyway. I mean, that's one of the things. There's a lot of these stars, they let the money go to the head. I mean, that's pretty much the main thing. I mean, if you think about Chris Brown, shoot, look at Justin Bieber. Many times that news.
I mean, but and
These
that's why
jokes
I
running around.
said, and that's why I tell, because people are always asking me, do you want to get rich? No, man. I tell people no. I tell people I want to be comfortable to the point where I don't have to worry about nothing. I can just, you know, but that's about it. I don't want to be rich because that comes with a lot of bullcrap. And people wonder, and people be like, "Why did he kill himself? He got all these and millions of dollars." But like I tell people, money don't buy happiness, and that's the
Oh,
truth. You can have you can have $6 million and a
mm-hmm.
nice house and a crib and a car. You ain't. I see you got your fuck.
Janine say, okay, Janine says she wants to be rich. If you was rich, Janine, what would be the first thing you would do? I want to hear this. And I say, now that's her thing. If I was rich, first
Yes.
thing, I want to hear hers first, then I'll tell you mine. But they said that he was involved in a standoff. They said evidently it was assault with a deadly weapon. I mean, 9 times out of 10, he's a superstar, so that'll probably be, taken down. They did say that they found drugs, in his house too. So but knowing them, that could have been anything. That could have been weed. A lot of the superstars, they do weed and they do what is it, ecstasy and all that shit. So who knows? I doubt he was a crackhead or anything like that.
I doubt that too. But
That
I'm
says
like,
what it does by happiness, it just doesn't laugh. I used to think BJ's brought happiness, but it only lasted for 7 to 11 seconds. Oh man. Oh man.
cause, cause cause people like, I want to be rich. I want to get millions. Okay, Mr. Millions, but
Now,
they don't know that comes with a lot of that comes with a lot, man. And that's why
now,
they
Janine,
they they
I
let
don't
that
like
money.
that answer there. I'll say that. You're supposed to say, I was going to donate $1 million to debating Woes with Judge Dre. That's what you were supposed to say. No, but definitely buy a house of love, buy a house. Yeah, me and myself, I would actually want to build my house, even though I'm into, putting houses together. I would like, maybe I'll buy a nice house and then I buy a house with a torn up house next to it on the same street. That way I could, you know, That shirt, oh yeah, don't talk about my shirt here. You know, look, got the hat to match too now. You should already know that's what's going down in here. How you doing, Slack? Thank you. If this is our man here, when you hear our intro right here, that's all thanks to my man Slacks here. Tomorrow we'll have the show on, we'll have our intro playing then. You did get that taken care of. You did get that payment, right, Slacks? And thank you, Janine, for the donation. Appreciate it, because that's what keeps the show going. You said, "Oh, Chris Brown, you don't like him? Why you don't like Chris Brown?" I hate to say, I think he actually got the bad end of the stick with that whole deal with Rihanna. What really happened with him? I think that he's the guy we always look bad. That's us men. We can't do anything right. Come on now. When have we ever done anything right when it comes to pertaining to a woman? I mean, Lethal, let me go ahead and ask you, when's the last time we've done something right when it pertains to a woman?
I can't do that but laugh at that one. I can't even give you a solid response.
Come on now, you got to try.
Never. It's always something wrong with them.
No,
Yes, always. Like,
so
for example,
baby, what do us men? We can go ahead and have you women in the chat room typing in. What do us men need to do to make you women happy?
You can do every damn thing, and that still ain't enough.
no, it's they want us to be a yes man, yes dear, everything, yes. And I'm not. I just can't be no yes man. Like I'm going through a little situation right now with my ex-girlfriend, her friend. She keep on texting me shit. She like, karma gonna come back on you, and you don't leave nobody that was there for you, and all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But like I told her, I said, I done gave too many women second chances over and over again, and I gotta stick my ground this time. She like, I feel, just give her one more chance, man. Just give her one more chance. She done changed. I said, I believe you, but it's too late.
Don't do it.
It's too late. It's too late to apologize.
Hey, what's the topic tonight, Dre?
The topic, well, I was going to do a topic there, but it got changed at the last minute because I realized that someone else had done that topic the day before, and I don't want to be a copycat. So I was going to say, why, you have a topic, something we can talk about? We'll roll into something there, and we'll decide where we go from there?
I'm having a brain fart. I wish, man, I should have threw out a suggestion because I had an idea, man, earlier.
Okay, I was saying is this is I got a couple.
Unless you want to make it an open topic.
We can do open. I figure since we are already that way, whoever comes into the room can bring whatever, and we'll talk about that at that time. We can do that open. We can do the open first for a time. We'll roll into a topic later. Well, normally we do the topic first and roll in an open. So, as I said, I'm adjusting on the fly here. First time doing it with no set schedule. How you doing, KP? Well, I'm surprised. Where are you now? You're supposed to be in here. What? You leave us now for another show? Look at that. KP left us for another show. He left us for the chat room. See? Now, Ashley says, females push and push and think you can't do anything back. Yeah, I will say that. They do.
Not all.
Only thing I've noticed, too, with a lot of females that I've dated is that they're very good at cutting you with their tongue. I mean, when they said the pen is the tongue cuts more than anything.
Yep, it does. It does, Andre. They can say something to you that make you feel shitty as fuck. That make you feel less than a man. Trust me, I know.
Well, personal. Not to lie and be faithful. Okay, but here's the question. If you say, like, does this dress make my butt look big, are we supposed to lie then?
Yes. You're supposed to lie.
If you ask that question, like, I mean, some questions I don't know if you guys would really want the answers to because you may not like that.
yes. Some questions you
Right.
gotta just be like, yes,
Right.
no.
Well, I
I
said
meant to say no.
later
Some
you will say
questions,
that. You right
some.
about that. You will say that because one of the things is this. One of the things is I've noticed that women do. Here's a question I've always want to ask women: why do y'all withhold sex from the men in a relationship? I mean, little do you guys know, if y'all gave the man sex every time he wanted, 9 times out of 10, he's never going to cheat on you. Most decent to good men aren't going to cheat on you because they know that, well, wow, I can get it every time I want. Why would I risk losing that to have a one night affair with someone else? I
But
mean,
see, with some men, it don't be that way. Some men, they be like, oh, the pussy getting old or something like that, and I don't know what
I never,
that's.
plain and simple. I don't know. I mean, I can understand maybe if she was just a bad. I don't understand how to say it gets old unless she's just that horrible in bed. I mean, if she's that horrible in bed, then you shouldn't be having sex with her anymore. Anyway, if you can't teach her, you know what I mean. If you can't teach her, but I do admit I have experienced that, and I never thought. Okay, man, stop. He said, "Cause me rectum." Right? Okay, man. But I did have one where it was just like I'd rather go to work and just get a job. But he said not to lie and be faithful. That's it, huh? Yeah, Slack said that doesn't even sound right.
The fact of the matter is, in
Right,
situations like that, man, I mean, you gotta think. Loyalty is something everybody don't possess that trait.
no, definitely not.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta figure. It's all about, and I will always say this, that a lot of times what people fail to realize is we have this thing called the subconscious mind.
Right,
And what happens there, even though we know better, subconsciously we respond in ways that we deem to be normal. So if we come
right,
up seeing our parents being, player, our dad was a player,
right,
or uncles or cousins,
right,
we're more likely to carry on that trait. Now, that's not always the case because, I mean, for Christ's sakes, I have an older brother and that nigga got kids and I can't even keep up with the motherfucking women that nigga got.
right,
But the thing
Same,
is,
same
me,
thing here.
me personally, I mean, I've always just been like the monogamous type. You know what I mean? Because especially looking at what you have to choose from out here,
yeah,
it's like far few in between. Because I mean, the crazy thing is, for the longest, I want to say, well, my current girlfriend, she's black, and my ex girlfriend's last two relationships before her were black women,
hmm,
and that was a big shock to a lot of people. They like, because they knew I had a little issue with them, and this is
right,
the, but like I always told people, it was like a whole race of black women that I hated, and
hmm,
hell, it to be honest with you, it was these thoughts were thoughts that we had our senior year of high school.
right,
You see what I'm saying? This is before we knew before we even knew about, you know, the platform that's out now.
hmm,
And, the fact that you got the guys that got the YouTube channels that talk about this stuff.
right, right,
You see what I'm saying? You know, this before we any of that shit existed. So like when these guys came about, then of course I was like, damn, these motherfuckers saying the same shit we've been saying in high school. And I had to put my buddies up on it, like, yo, you see this shit, but
yeah,
the fact
I-
of the matter is,
definitely.
I'm sorry.
No, keep going.
No, the fact of the matter is, man, it just depends on the person. Because see, I do believe in karma. That's why I try not to do wrong and run around here dogging motherfuckers. Cause see, I always have to look at it like this. You know, you ever notice all these dudes that be hitting, that they be beating women and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll tell you, hey, you nobody better not put their hands on my daughter or my sister or my mom.
Right.
But dude, you
But they
beating on
do the same
somebody's sister, daughter, or mom. You
thing.
know?
Right. I watch it all the time. You sit up here and say to yourself, "Yes." But a lot of people they talk a good game, but they can't walk it. It's easy to talk the game, but most people they can't walk the game.
Hmm.
And that's what most of them do when it comes to stuff like that. You
Think
know.
about it, man. Talk is cheap, so anybody can afford to do that shit. You know what I mean? Like you can. That's the thing, and that's where a lot of people get caught up in shit. You have to look at what people do and not what they say, and that's where I think. And this is even something that I had to learn in
Hmm.
my 20s, even to now. I
Right.
don't really hold words that much. I have to see the actions behind the shit because if the actions reflect it, then it's like okay. But if it's like okay, you like, hey, I'm not about this and that and the other, but you're doing the total fucking opposite
Hmm.
of what you're doing the same thing that you're against, then that lies an issue. You see what I'm saying? So I think the problem is we live in a society now where the being morally corrupt is like the thing to do,
Right.
and they feel like, and they look at it as if like, okay, well, they don't, until something happens to them, then they be like, oh shit, why me? But you have to always press the replay button. Like, well, damn, I did fuck over some people in my life. I've seen it happen. I've seen people that did stupid shit, and I didn't even lose contact with them. I just sat back and watched. And the same shit they did with me or whoever else that I, knew about the situation at hand, the same shit happened to them. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like, pride is the big fucking problem. Because no matter how much some of these people fall on their ass, you would think they'll learn, but they still get up and do the same dumb shit again.
Hmm. But okay, but here's the question: is it always just us men, or is it? I mean, we sit up here
It's
and blame the women, but I mean, some of us sometimes it's always the men too. We do the same thing.
I would say people period. I would say
But
people
that
period.
either partner.
Yeah, I would
I
say
would
and
I would
people
say
period
that
because I
too.
wouldn't. I mean, because see, here's the thing: you got some, you got good, upstanding, hardworking brothers out here, and some of them probably have wives or girlfriends that appreciate the shit out of them, and there's no, tug of war with the pants in the relationship or no shit like that. So I mean, and then you have women on the other hand. You got some good ones, and then you got some fucked up ones. It's a lot of it, man. It's like what I was talking about last night, man. A lot of it stems from what these motherfuckers is entertained by. They, dude. Let me tell you something. I remember a chick I dated a few years ago. This motherfucker told me she was like, I want a Louis Vuitton purse,
Right.
and I was like, what the fuck you want? And I'm like, because I'm not big into fashion like that anymore, so I don't know how much the motherfuckers are. I just know they're not cheap. So of course I go look up Louis Vuitton. I'm like, this fucking shit is like $2,000. Nigga, that's like some people don't even make that a month in they income.
Well,
Exactly.
I do admit I bought a girl I was dating. I bought her a I do admit I was not into Louis Vuitton like all like that. You know what I actually like? I actually like Burberry. There's something about the plaid. I love plaid.
Mm.
And it's like, yeah. So I bought her a Burberry purse. So I bought a woman I was dating at that. I spent like $800 on that back in the day. But I ain't gonna lie, I mean, she bought a lot for me too. I mean, we went on a
Yeah.
trip, and I know she spent at least about $1,500. She paid for everything, so I mean, I wanted to buy her something nice, so I figured, hey, I'll buy her this $800-900 purse.
Well,
I figured that way
and
she can show
honestly,
that, 'cause I know she had spent about $1,500 on that trip, and I wanted to at least pay for half, and she wouldn't allow me. So I'm like, oh, okay, I know you really like these high-end purses, so I'm gonna just buy you.
But see, there's nothing wrong with having a balance there. You know what I mean? I mean, it's the problem is when it's always expected like this high end. Let me tell you something. The beautiful
Yeah,
thing that the beautiful thing that I love about my girlfriend is this motherfucker is cheap. I shit you not. I tell you. One time, she's one of those people when on Sundays when those coupons, you know how you on Sundays you get the sales papers with all them coupons and shit. She'll look through that
yeah,
motherfucker, find some deals.
Mm-hmm.
Go like one time we went to fucking Walgreens and she was getting some deodorant and it was a sale on it and it was like some other shit some shaving cream and some other shit that she got on a coupon thing. Now, of course, anybody who shop at Walgreens, they got that reward shit. So
Right.
after you gain so many points, you can redeem that to go towards your balance.
Mm-hmm.
And needless to say, that shit would have cost like five something, like $5 and some change. But in addition to the coupons that the girl had, she used the reward, walked out the motherfucker paying 66 cents, dude.
Wow.
I
now,
was like,
now, now that's a girl I need because that's a girl I need in my life right there. 66 cent. Oh yeah, that's somebody I need in my life.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
playing, I will admit, like I was dating that. I say one chick that I was dating this, but I say back when I was young, the one who wrote all my checks for me, because I mean, I was horrible. The only reason my credit was good because of her. I mean, I made money. I made very good money because she didn't work. I was the only one working. But the fact that I was just lazy, I was irresponsible when it comes to like writing the checks to pay the bills. I mean, the money would
right.
be sitting in the bank, and I would, oh yeah, I'll pay it tomorrow. I pay. I mean, literally, my landlord came over knocking on the door. Oh yeah, man, I forgot to put the rent in there. It's like here, I'll pay you for the next 3 months. And it's like, well, if you got the money, he's like, well, I know, I'll pay the late fee. I just forgot to. He's like, well, all you do is walk it over across the street. I said, I know, I hate I was a procrastinator. Or I was always too tired. And oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And then you look up and a week done went by and you haven't wrote the check and sent it out. And next thing, I mean, literally after that, that's why I used to tell her, you know what, baby, you just handle all the finances. I would just tell her, oh, hey, babe, I get my check, deposit it in the bank. She would write all the checks. Half the time, I wouldn't even pay attention to. I mean, so really, if she wasn't a good girl, she could have screwed the shit out of me. But
But
I
see,
had a running idea of how much money I had. But you know what I mean. It was like I used to have to tell her, and she was cheap too. She know, oh yeah, I know you like it if it's you don't like it unless it's on sale. It's something about me. If, like me, I won't buy ice cream unless it's on sale. Unless I'm just like fiending for ice cream. If I go to the store and say I'm going to get ice cream and it's not on sale, and I'll come back without it, and people say I thought you were going to get ice cream. It wasn't on sale. And they said, damn, I ain't never heard a motherfucker got a taste for something and he ain't gonna go get it.
see, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I'm cheap to an extent too, because see, honestly, like when I was in high school, everybody who's been in high school knows that in high school you want to have the freshest shit, the newest trending, fashions or whatnot. But once I got to the point where, like when I got my first apartment at 21, and I had to pay rent and all those expenses and shit was my responsibility.
Right.
A lot of that shit changed. You know what I mean? I wasn't so caught up into the red monkeys and the true religions and whatever the fuck was hot during that time.
Well,
So, the thing is, like, honestly, it's a spot. I don't know if you guys have it in Cleveland or Michigan. This is a place called Dillard's.
yes.
No, we don't have dealers here.
It used to be. It used to be. First it was Higbee's, then it was Horns, then it was Dillard's. That's right. But yeah, we used to have it. It's gone now. They've
Yeah,
already went out of business in the area.
but yeah, cause like sometimes I go like shit. I got some shirts that we got from that motherfucker, man, for like a little or nothing. And then in addition to that, instead of me going to places like the Lark, like my mom and them used to do back in when we were in high school. Instead of going to places like the Lark and Underground Station and shit,
Right.
there was a spot called the fuck was the name of it? It was called K&G.
Oh
It
yeah, we
had
have K&G.
K&G. Um, it's
I
two. I
think they
think
got a. I think they got a K&G in Michigan though. I think we got one. I
They
think
got
yeah,
we
cause
do.
store,
I know,
the clothing store.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
We have them here all over.
yeah, we have K&G here.
yeah. I know we got I've seen two down here in Houston. But the thing about like there, but I normally like if I want to go get some shit, I go to like Burlington or I go, I don't spend a bunch of fucking money on shit because that shit gonna wear and tear. And that's what I used to try to tell the cats that was a little bit younger than me because they'd be like, man, nigga, you be trying to go get out on some hoes, man. You gotta have your swag up. I'm like, nigga, first off, don't use that fucking word to be like I don't care about that swag bullshit. My thing, I'm not trying to
Yeah.
impress nobody. Listen, my thing is simply this. I'm gonna be presentable for me. If you have a fucking problem with that, or if you're gonna date me based off of how much my shit costs, then fuck you. You know, that's been my mentality for years. I just never been one of those. Once I started happen to buy the shit, I was like, no, I'm not gonna be out here fucking doing all this extreme shit. Cause do you realize how the money that we spend on this type of shit, if we would have took that same money and invested it in something?
Oh, definitely. Well, I ain't even gonna lie. Back then, my thing was Nautica. I love Nautica shirts, and I mean, literally to this day, I actually have a couple Nautica shirts that I had back when I was, like 22 years old, and I mean, literally, they're still hanging up in there. And we're like, I was wearing a shirt one day, and it's a picture of my son. He's only probably like 2 years old. He's laying on my chest, right? And he's laying on my chest, and my mom came downstairs and took a picture while he's laying there asleep. And something happened, and we were looking through pictures again, and everybody started laughing. I'm like, what? What's going on? And they pulled out a picture, and it was him laying on my chest, and that was the shirt I had on that day. And I was like, damn. He's like, yeah. Especially when you look, the boy's 16 years old. He was 2 in the picture.
You go way back to fucking Cool Water, man.
You said, what?
You probably used to wear Cool Water too, didn't you?
Oh, hell yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
Nautica's still around, ain't they?
yeah. My shirts were Nautica. I mean, they used to call me literally. I used to buy all my clothes from Diamond's Men's Store. They used to call me Mr. Nautica. I mean, literally, I would buy so many Nautica shirts that when the Nautica shipments would come in, they would call me the day before and say, we have a new Nautica shipment coming in this day. And then I used to buy so many of them, and they knew which ones. After a while, you go there so much, they know which ones. They kind of like know what type of person you are. And I remember, like, because it was in the mall I worked in. And I walked in there on my break. I'm like, y'all got Nautica shirts here? You didn't tell me? Oh, and I'm like, what in the world? I thought you guys supposed to call me when Nautica come in. Oh, no, Mr. Mitchell. Don't worry. They go in the back room. All one of each of my size shirts put in a wrapper. People, there you go right here, Mr. Mitchell. We put one aside of all of them for you. I said, now that's how you know that a motherfucker know your ass well.
Okay,
They
well, think
put
about
one
this.
of your side each of them inside.
Check this out, Lethal. If you're saying that you would have just stayed, if you can go back, you would just save that money and invest it. What would you invest it in?
Google.
Yeah.
You want to hear something
Shit,
funny?
honestly, you
Yeah.
know what? Knowing what I know now, a lot of time, like I probably would have like did like some penny stocks or some shit. I don't know. Well, I would have started my own Roth IRA, dude. Something shit, So I
Yeah.
probably,
I
I would
I
have did that.
will.
When we were doing that money scheme and all that, when we were having all that money and doing all that, we were sitting up there because we were in the computer tech, so we were into the .com boom and all that before then, because that was back in '97. And we
Yeah.
were talking about all the money we were, getting on doing our little other thing. He was like, shit, man, let's just throw a couple thousand in some random stocks. Because we was talking about computers is the way to go because that's what we were selling. And then we was talking about the internet stuff. And we thought about Google. What's so bad? We was looking at it and we thought about buying Google. And I said, man, do you realize if we'd have put $2,000 in Google back then, we
Yeah.
would be fucking millionaires? And I mean,
Same
considering
with
that it was
Walmart and Radio
$2,000
Shack.
of money that was already stolen, so it didn't matter. It ain't like it cost you anything. And you're like, damn. That's the one of the stocks we were looking at. It was like Google. We looked at Google. We looked at, what was the other stock? The main one was Google because we were talking about the internet search engines. And we were like, yeah, do we want to do that? And it's like, we were thinking, well, maybe Microsoft because, we were watching because that was back when Windows 95 was out. And we were like, yeah. And we weren't big Apple fanboys. We didn't like Apple at all. Even though we sold, Macintosh computers, we just didn't like them. I had a thing against them.
You would have put your money in Apple back then.
No, you had to put it in a little bit earlier than that. It was too late. It was still too high then. We were trying to get cheap stocks. Apple was too high already. But think about it. If you went in with 2,000 in Google, you would probably be worth about, literally, but within 10 years, it was worth maybe like $5 million.
So with what you guys now know about materialism and all the money you blew with clothes,
I we didn't blow the money all like that because we blew a lot. Yeah, we blew a lot of money. I ain't gonna lie to that because I was going out. We'd go out and say, I'd be like, what's going on, guys? We going out tonight. They'd be like, dude, we went out last night. I can't afford it. Don't even worry, man. I got everybody. Just bring everybody. Come on.
Okay, I'm just saying, with all this stuff, with all the things that you spent your money on, how much of a priority is it now for you to teach your children or younger nephews and nieces about, not doing the same thing and trying to use your money to start your own wealth?
Honestly,
who wants to answer? Who wants to answer that question? We got about 4. I can. But go ahead, Lisa. You go and then I'll answer it.
Honestly, Vet, I don't have children at the moment, but that's something I definitely want to, instill that in them. As a matter of fact, I watch a lot of, when I used to watch TV, I used to watch Susie Orman religiously and CNBC and stuff like that. And, so I definitely will be teaching or passing that down. And those are actually some goals of myself that I'm actually, it's like, what, now I'm going to start, setting these things up. Because, like, right now I've just been kind of trying to pay off debts and, get my credit where it needs to be and get a lot of the bullshit behind me. And then from there, actually start, having something, different types of, just starting at a small place and just having some assets and just build up from there. You know what I mean? Because I think that's a very important thing, especially in the Black community. I think we don't have too much knowledge of that. You know what I mean? We're not, when we have like strong spending power amongst us alone. So just imagine if we actually took that and put it in things that will make money for us, we will be pretty well off.
Yeah, we absolutely put money in everybody else's pockets except our own. We absolutely do. We will break our neck to spend our check on whatever, like the latest shoes. Bras go spend $200, $300 on hair. Just to chop it all up. That's just something that's a cycle that absolutely needs to be broken, or at least educated upon, and get somebody the opportunity to make an informed decision on how to spend their money. Because while we sitting here fighting debt and trying to pay bills, we could probably teach them, as in school, how to pay bills, keep credit straight. So by the time they come of age of 21, they're not worried about having the debt from school, or how they gonna make ends meet like we're doing.
Right.
Wow.
His actual name is Steve. I think he's supposed to try to get into the chat tonight. We were actually talking about finances. I'm gonna wait a minute, see if he's in here, because me and him were talking about something. We're going to that. But what I'll say too, and when it comes to like the money there, when I was younger, I put myself on a budget to where I would bare minimum put $300. You know, think about it, that's not bad for an 18-year-old. I put $300 into the bank every week because we got paid every week. Normally, I'd made about high fives a week. I'd bring home high five, low six. I will admit my highest check in my life actually came when I was 19 years old. I made $5,000 in 1 week.
Ooh.
Yeah, so literally to show you what the type, like, I don't know the people who have heard my story to say what type of money I was actually used to. I made $5,000 in 34 hours. So to show you, you know, when you make that much money claiming zero dependents, taxes took that check down to about $2,900. The week after that, I made another 21 after taxes. I mean, I was sitting there saying, well, most people say, I remember someone said, shit, most people don't make $5,000 in a month.
You know?
You know, and I mean, think about it. That's back then when minimum wage was $4.25, and you bring home $5,000. I mean, you make $5,500, bring home $2,900. I mean, literally after that, I remember my mom had said, somebody said something, and I just throw them some money. And then my mom was like, what this, that, and that? Well, you know you got to pay this. Well, I just counted out some, here you go. She's like, what you doing? I said, well, shit, I made $5,000 this week. And she looked at me, she said, damn, what the God? She said, I'm in the wrong fucking profession. She said, I don't even make $5,000 in a month. And she was like, I thought I should. My mom used to say, yeah, $5,000 in 34 hours. Legally.
You know what though? I remember when I was on a 1-year contract with the Postal Service back in 2006. It rolled over to 2007. It was for a whole year, man. We was doing a lot of fucking hours, dude, but you know, a lot of us were like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, you know, making like $2,000 a fucking month. You know, at our age, we just thought we were the shit. Like,
yeah, $5,000. Think about it, $5,000 in a fucking week. Well, $5,500 really, but you bring home $2,900.
Especially at 19. Oh hell yeah.
19 years old. I mean, you got no bills, no rent to pay, no nothing, because I was still living at home at the time. I mean, immediately it was like, what? I mean, and we had cell phones, and we were using them like, don't you know you use a cell phone today? That's how we were using our cell phone 20 years ago. We didn't give a shit how much the bill was, because by the end of the month, we'd have at least $600-700 in credit. Yes, I mean, literally, because we get credits for how many phones we sold. So at our job, we sold computers and cell phones. So you got credit, you got cash and credit for each phone you sell. So the fact is, we use our cell phones like water, because back then, the most you could pay is like, you could pay like $75 and you get like 130 minutes for free, and after that, you got nights and weekends. That's it. We use our phone like water. I mean, it was like what the phone, if somebody was on, we talk on the phones like they was house phones, because we didn't really care. I mean, easily, we could run up $1,000 bill in a month, and it wouldn't matter, because we probably got, you know, literally, when I stopped selling cell phones, when they cut we were getting so much credit on our cell phones that actually put a maximum amount that we could get, because some of us, our bills were reaching like negative $3,000. I mean, damn. Go and see, right? You got a negative cell phone bill of $3,000. I mean, literally, when they stopped the thing, they cut it to where we can only get like $100 a month credit on our cell phone bill. Even still using it at that, I didn't pay a cell phone bill for 2 years after I quit that job.
Wow.
Just think about the.
But go ahead.
Think about the way that evolved as far as phones, because I remember, man, I done ran up some cell phone bills myself, and I'm like, now, if you look at it now, because even like prepaid shit, like those were more expensive than getting a contract phone to me. Because like if you had that nice.
No, it was much worse then. It was worse when we had them like that. But to go back to answer her question, she was saying that like all the money that I realized that we didn't spend the money as wisely as we could have. I do admit we didn't blow money just like that, but we were definitely kicking it out there. Back then, then if what we were doing was we just say, hey, well, if we going out, everybody, we just gonna make sure everybody had fun. I mean, literally, we go to bars that had decent price drinks. So literally, if I went in there and if we spent $100 at the bar, it's probably gonna be like 5 of us walking out of there staggering.
Wow.
Okay, but if you could bring it forward to today, what would you invest in?
What do you mean? What would I invest in?
Mm-hmm.
Right now. Ooh, see, I haven't seen. This is the thing is, I will admit, if you had asked me about a year or two ago, I could have told you. You could even ask me like up until I used to follow stock market, and I used to follow things like I was one of the ones that told people like when I remember I told you I was dating a girl. We lived in Arizona. Now she made over 100,000 a year. She received a big bonus for like 40,000 that they had to pay her, and this, and she was like, "Well, I just need to invest in a stock." And she was saying, I told her, "Yeah, that's the best thing to do, invest it, this, that, and the other." And she was thinking about it, but she never did. She just bullshitted around. And I told her, I said, "Well, if you really want to invest, I'm gonna tell you to invest in oil." And she was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I said, "Invest in oil." And because I was the one who I paid attention to other things, like things going on in Dubai, and I've always been I analyze. You can't always go by just because a company had a bad thing here. I told her, I said, oil will definitely hit $100 a barrel, and it was only like 50 at that time. And I said, it'll definitely hit $100 a barrel. And she was like, "Oh, I can." I said, "Literally, you're gonna see at one time. I wouldn't be surprised if gas goes up to $5 a gallon." And they're like, "No, it's never going to go that high." Literally within like 4 months of her saying that, oil shot up to like 89. And she was just looking at me like, "How the fuck did you know?" And I'm like, "You didn't see the writing?" I said, "You see all these countries over here that make their bread and butter on oil, and they're building infrastructures out here in the middle of the fucking desert where there's nothing. I mean, literally, that's the worst place in the world to build anything. So you know it's going to be hella expensive. And they're just building their super like that. You know what they're going to do. They got to go ahead, and their main thing that they make their money on is oil. So they got to find a way to increase the price." I said, so either they're going to have, things, I paid attention to when Enron was scandaling people. When they were doing well, we're just going to shut this power plant down here for maintenance. Really what that does is, well, fine. We'll shut this plant down here for maintenance. Because what that does is you shut one plant down, so they go down. So they're not doing anything, so they're not refining oil. So now the other ones can't really take up the slack for that one, so that increases the price. So, I mean, think about it. Would you rather sell 100 gallons and make 100,000, or would you rather sell 70,000 gallons and make 90? So you take 30% less, but you still made damn near the same amount of money. And you did less work. You paid less overhead, less everything. So, that's how they were making their money. Enron did it. The oil companies did it. I mean, you can see. Anybody pays attention to anything like with energy. We use less energy now, but your light bills are actually even higher than they were. So picture if we weren't using the new light bulbs and the new, televisions that lose a third of the power that the old ones use. I mean, look when natural gas for your house went skyrocketing up in the world when motherfuckers getting $2,000 and $3,000 gas bills in small homes. Imagine if you got one of these big monstrosities of a mansion, what are you gonna get? But I'll go ahead. I've been running my mouth. Someone else can get a word in here.
No, you're good. You definitely want to invest in something that everyone needs.
Right.
And like you said, oil, it's never going to go away.
Right, but I think oil, they've already reached their peak and all like that. So oil is actually not, if I was investing now, I hadn't been following my stuff like I normally do, I would not invest in oil. If I had to go with a stock now, let's see, not thinking, it would have to be something in a technology sector, more of, I hate to say something, everybody's talking about Apple and Samsung. No, I wouldn't invest in them either, because this is the problem with Apple and Samsung. Unless they they've done so much to increase their revenue so much, unless they cut their quality down a bit, or they just get more slave labor than they already are using, you know what I mean, then they're not going to be able to maintain those margins. I don't see that. Let me see. It'd have to be something like, I would invest more in these apps more than anything. I'd invest, if I had to pick something, pick these apps. Go ahead, KP, your turn.
I would still stick with the old dirty oil, man. Because right now it's just so damn low.
Definitely, Tesla is definitely right. That's what they said right there. Definitely Tesla, and not
Tesla will probably number 2.
But
hell yeah.
Not the band, but the actual company.
He's my best. He's my favorite inventor, Tesla.
This only because of the electric market.
No, he's the best in the world.
I would invest just because of the electric market. Because you're trying to get away from fossil fuels.
Definitely.
That's what everybody's mindset is at.
Yeah, but how long will that take?
That's why you invest now, while it's
Well,
low.
I know, but is it realistic in the next,
But you make your money off of fossil fuels. I mean, a barrel of oil is like, what, 45, 46 bucks?
Right.
It's going to go back up.
No.
Shit.
No. It'd never hit 100 again. And that's the only way that oil hit 100 again is if they outlaw fracking or something. So unless you see the fracking bill about to be pulled back and all that, then you don't have to worry.
If you put Hillary in office, I'd give you 3 years.
Nope. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. So you lose money on that one. You want to bet on that one? We can do some fake stock bets and all that. What about you, Lethal? What would you invest in? I guess he's AFK. What about you, Vet? Since you want to bring up the investing thing, what would you invest in? Give us something.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I'm not that well versed. I'm sitting here trying to get some tips on y'all. Y'all go from investing to betting. Y'all confusing me.
Oh, okay. Here you go, Vet. I'm exactly. I forgot. You know what I would actually invest in now? I hate to say this. Don't talk about me. I would actually invest in any company that specializes in women's hair care products.
I knew you were going to say
I knew it was coming.
I was waiting for it.
You know why?
Okay.
No, but because this is a problem. The good thing with that is it's a very cheap product to produce with a very high markup, and products like that are very nice because you got a super cheap product, very easy to produce, and then you can say this is $1,000 and dumbasses are gonna pay for it, and that's exactly what you want.
I mean, think about it. That sector is $500 billion a year. $500 billion.
It's like, turn it down, Eric. Turn it down. My problem with I'm not mad about making any money because that I will do, but that's one thing. When I have conversations with females, with women, it's more so like, why do you pay this kind of stuff? So we get all off into the whole conversation about beauty, the price it takes to be attractive, to be cute, to be pretty. But on the flip side, if that's where I'm gonna make me a couple dollars, got to take care of these kids, I'm gonna go ahead and roll with it. But that's absolutely the conversation that we have often, and it just baffles me the amount of money that they spend to look like somebody else. So.
I think we had some of this conversation last night, or in a sense, we had some conversation related to this, and I just think that people are spending way too much on what they think makes them attractive, but it's really according to like popular media rather than what the guys are actually saying. You know what I mean? I'm not saying all women dress for men, but I'm just saying they're spending this overabundance when it's really not necessary to go that far.
It's absolutely fantastic marketing on behalf of the beauty industry. I would agree. A lot of times guys would prefer a woman to not have 1,000 pairs of eyelashes on their face and the hair weaved down their back and a pound of makeup on their face. But we women get so caught up in, oh, she's so pretty on TV, let me look like how she's looking. So we'll go do the waist trainer and crush your ribs and, go buy a $20 lipstick that looks like trash because you saw it on TV. You know?
I've seen women do that.
Say that again, Dre?
No, I said I've seen you women do that.
You ain't seen this one do that. I don't think
I'm all for some cute, like clear, shiny lip gloss. I'm fine with that. If you want to get your hair done, cool. Please be attractive. Please take care of yourself. But putting on all this ridiculous colored lipstick and 10,000 pounds of somebody else's hair touching my butt is just too much. It's too much.
Agree. I think it's a senseless waste of money. And when we talk about the advertisement from the makeup companies, they almost don't even have to advertise anymore because all people have to do is watch the television or look at some of these photos that these girls are posting all over the place. I mean, really, the companies probably don't have to spend a whole lot in advertisement anymore.
No, you just got to put maybe a halfway decent woman who's willing to be dressed up and parade her in front of some cameras, and they'll fall for it. Just like when you do the reality TV thing, these young ladies nowadays figure as long as they have a shapely body and a cute little face, they'll get some ball player that's going to take care of them, and they think reality is really the housewives of whatever, or Atlanta or Love and Hip Hop. They think that's real life, and it's truly not. So that's just the magic of marketing, the magic, like you said, of not putting too much money into it, but having ending up pouring all of our money into trying to mimic what we see as what real life is, and that's just the reality is not.
You can just even go simpler with the marketing. Just put a fucking price tag on it. You put a price tag on it, niggas would buy anything. Just to say, I have this. Yeah. And I paid X amount of dollars.
Well, in general, do that. You know what I mean? So is this where I would say what people do too?
Yeah, I call them motherfuckers niggas too.
I'm just saying, people just do that. If you put a price tag on it and everyone starts wearing it,
It's true. Think about all your major brands that's out there.
And that's what I was talking about earlier about prioritizing where we put our money.
Absolutely.
I think when we talk about investing, I mean, you're talking about oil and all these big companies and things like that. But people really can invest on a smaller scale themselves to ensure that they have something that will last and they can get a return on at some point. So people invest in a lot of things. Some people invest in homes. Some people invest in jewelry, gold, silver, cars. You know what I mean? There are other things that people invest in that they are sure to get a return on at some point,
Right. Also, a good thing, do anything. Actually, gold is actually a very good thing to invest in, too, right about now. That's still a good thing. It's still going up.
What's that?
Gold has actually been a good commodity to invest in now. It's still going up because one of the problems, too, the dollar's getting weaker.
The dollar is gone.
Right. That's why I said.
Gold is just very, very expensive.
Well, that's why I mentioned that, because if you think about it, if the dollar is gone and it really is just a piece of cotton and it's meaningless, then people need to be investing in something that's tangible. And that means something they can get a return on. So if all of a sudden the dollar is worth nothing, you still have something to work with.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Definitely. I mean, like right now, I mean, that's why it's a lot of products you can, really invest in. I would, a lot of commodities, right, is actually the way to go too, because with the dollar falling and all that, China coming online and they're becoming big consumers too. Gotta help. Yeah.
Yeah, precious metals is definitely the way to go. I would probably, depends how much money you have. If you don't have a lot of money, I would choose alternate metals.
Right.
Well, that's what I mean when I say people can think of investing on a smaller level. I mean, I've never invested in stocks or that type of thing, but I do think that even not knowing a whole lot about investing, there are things that people can invest in that are tangible, that they can work with, that will increase in value over time. So I think it doesn't have to even be on a large scale. If you do something over time, then you build up what you have to work with should you have to.
So Jenny said invest in cars. What do you mean by investing in cars? I will admit they are starting to make a comeback. People are starting to buy bigger vehicles, but I don't know if I would still be investing in cars just yet. I would invest in alternative forms of energy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna knock a car.
Get a load of me, ain't no control of me. I control everything.
How you doing, Slacks?
What's up, y'all?
Anything you'd like to add to that?
Nope.
Why not? What would you?
Because I don't know how to invest in cars. Except Tesla. I agree with Tesla.
Tesla? I mean, okay, here's the question.
Yeah, I agree.
You're younger than us. What do you see? A lot of people don't realize really how to look for good things to invest. What do you see a lot of people in your age group buying? That's what you invest in. Like, if you really want to go to find good things to invest in that people don't really know about, go to the mall and sit in the middle of the mall and just sit there and watch and see what people are buying.
To be honest with you, the regular, normal, dumb things that a teenager buys or a young person buys, which is clothes, and that's really a hit or miss on what's going to make it. But I will say this, though. Whatever is the next social media app, that's what you always need to invest in, because that shit going to go up quick as hell.
It'll be hard. I will admit this is Facebook is definitely googling up a lot of people. I think, see, that's one thing I don't think. Unless somebody comes out with a very super thing, it's going to be hard to take on Facebook, because what Facebook normally does is gobble them up.
I think Facebook is starting to get towards its peak, and it's going to be topping off here. So.
Yes. Facebook, I would not invest in Facebook right now. No.
That's what I'm saying. Wait for the next one. Wait for the next one. MySpace died, the Facebook took over. Wait for the next one.
Right. You got about. I'm gonna let you know like this. If you're waiting for another stock to take over and beat Facebook like that, and to be bigger, another stock, you got at least 10 years. Facebook is just give you an example. Is a lot of people don't know. Facebook is trying to knock YouTube out. Did you know that?
That's not gonna happen.
A lot of people don't know that.
That's not gonna happen at all.
Well, I'm just letting you know, Facebook, that's there. It's the writing is on the wall if you pay attention to that. One reason why Facebook made that thing with to go Facebook Live is because they're trying to get more of the market. They're trying to do actually what Google Plus tried to do and failed. That's why if you ever notice, like everybody's talking about the Hangouts are dying and all that bullshit, because the Google Plus actually failed. They dropped the ball on it. To where Facebook is saying, well, wait a minute. The next biggest social media site that is used less than right under Facebook is YouTube. So when Facebook starts showing, when you say videos are now being stored on Facebook, and you go here to watch your shit, that's when you really know, wow, Facebook is trying to do that.
Google dropped the ball for the simple fact of they didn't prepare themselves to grow as fast as they should have grown. Right. Never put the money into it.
Yeah, they never advertised it right, and it was very confusing to people.
Yeah.
It was not.
Hangouts are failing because think about all the hang-ups and hiccups they have.
Oh, no, Hangouts aren't failing because of that. They're just moving inside of YouTube. Google has already been inside YouTube anyway.
Think about a year ago.
Yeah.
A year ago, Hangouts was out on the market. Nobody used shit.
Well, it wasn't advertised.
They didn't put the money into it.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, that's the thing. They never put money into it because it wasn't growing. They didn't advertise it. It wasn't growing. So why, as a big company, a billion-dollar company, why are you gonna put money into it? But the reason why is Mark Zuckerberg is trying to let you know. Mark Zuckerberg, I pay attention to the articles I read, and they don't come out and say that, but the writing's on the wall. They're trying to take over YouTube. They're going to try to compete with them. They want to take Facebook is want to be so big that when you get on the internet, the only thing you do is go to Facebook. That's what they're trying to be.
That's not gonna happen. That's
It's
not
not,
gonna
but
happen at all.
that's what they're trying to do. And I don't
There's
know if
no
you
way in hell.
now why you don't think that. Go ahead.
They would end up doing a
No.
merger.
Yeah, right. Well, the point I'm trying to make is that I hope people pay attention to what's gonna be the next leading social media site, because all the rest of the social media shit is basically just like a piece of Facebook. If you look at Twitter, it's just messaging. If you look at Instagram, it's just photos and videos now. If you look at Pinterest, it's just photos and shit. It's really just a small spinoff. So whoever comes in and takes the torch on leading and dominating in all forces and shit, that's gonna be some money right there.
Okay, but here's the question though. Since how would a company come in, like say me and you want to say this said, maybe we come out with our company right now. Say me and you right here want to say, fuck it, we want to put Facebook out of business. How do we do it?
Shit, try to come up with a new angle to use it as like a business market, and then try to attack the youth and see what the fuck will take their interest in to get them to the social media site.
Hey, hush, you're giving up too much, man.
No, I'm just, only problem with that, I see any company even trying right now. Facebook is too. You have to like sneak in. I don't think you'll be able to do it nowhere near the
I
next
agree.
5 years.
I
5
agree.
years, you gotta table that for 5 years. Facebook is just there. I've watched them. I pay attention to like some of the backroom deals that they're doing, and they're paying like, oh yeah, we're gonna buy this company here, and we're gonna buy this. They're only buying that so they can just incorporate that into Facebook. I mean, mark my
I
words,
agree.
5 years you will see Facebook having videos like YouTube does.
I agree, Dre. Because an example is like if you want to use fucking the WWE and Vince McMahon, wrestling is shit right now, but it's gonna be hard as hell to try to take that damn torch, even though it's at the lowest fucking point.
Yep, definitely.
Also something I would like to invest in.
What's
is a
that?
fucking casino.
Casino?
Yes,
Yeah.
casino's actually a very good place to invest in. But most of the time to get in with casinos, you got to have big money.
Or heritage.
Investors.
Yeah, because that's really what it is. You have to have big money. I mean, the good thing too about casinos too, it's cash only business. There are many ways to hide money and not pay all your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and you never lose.
Legal to print money too.
And see, here you go like this, Slacks. Why you think I said Cavaliers are gonna win for the next year? You know why? Because who owns the casinos here?
Jan.
Who owns the casinos? Who owns them?
Jan. Crickets.
Who
Jan
owns casinos
Sleepy.
here in Cleveland? You can afford to lose money on the Cavs as long as the casino does well. And that's why he's going to make
Casinos
sure
will always do well. Casinos do so well that they will build a brand new casino. 3 years later, tear that one down and build a new one.
Yep.
Just because like, oh, that one old, let's build a new one.
Right.
That's how much money they make. They're guaranteed to win.
I mean, yeah, the house. But see, that's why one reason I was telling everybody they don't believe me. We're definitely going. I mean, Dan Gilbert will never let the Cavs drop down again. Now that he's taken over all the casinos here in Cleveland, so basically he was just part owner. Now he's like full owner in most of them now. So basically all the shit comes to him. It's worth, even if he has to pay huge luxury taxes to pay for good players, it's in his best interest to keep the Cavs as at least the number 2 team, because you want people going to the downtown, because where do? They leave the game and they go right to the casino. I mean, literally, that's what it is.
Well, shit, another thing I would say invest in, which is pretty much common sense. Find something that has a high volume of people, but then take that and put it somewhere where they don't have it. To me, it's pretty common sense.
Like
Like
what?
In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger is high on the West Coast and Texas and shit. East Coast people are in demand for it. I don't know why there's nothing over there. And
Right.
being on the West Coast and going to In-N-Out, I'm not a fan of it. I think it's overhyped. But put some over there on the East Coast, and they'll draw in a whole bunch of traffic.
Definitely.
Get those fake ass restaurants that got the food that's terrible for you, but people love for some reason. They got some fucking magical ass shit in there that make you want it every now and then.
Right. I don't know if anybody wants to join the panel. Go right just go ahead and ask me, and I'll add you to the panel here. I have a couple trolls in the room, so I don't want to post a link actually at this moment. But definitely, well, any product that always does good is any product that you have to continuously buy. You know, like one of the reasons why razor blades and stuff like that are good, because they know that people come back and buy it multiple times. You need products like that. That's one reason why our appliances and shit don't last as long as they used to. Because they know that, hey, we need to make sure that you guys, you know, come back and buy another one. We want to last. Oh, okay. Yeah, but, you know, I'm sitting here reading the chat room at the time, got distracted. Sorry, guys. Dollar Shave Club, yeah. I don't know. Can't see them taking off. They need to be in stores. If they really want it, Dollar Shave Club needs to be in stores. Even if they went to $2. But you know what I mean? If they went to stores, I think they could really do some things. So a lot of people don't like to wait. And that's the problem more than anything.
Right,
Like now.
Has
anyone
competition purchased any blades from those guys?
Huh?
Has anyone ever purchased any blades?
Yeah, I do.
I've heard they were decent.
Yeah, they are. I get them every month.
And you don't have no problems.
Okay.
Nah. As long as you know personally the proper way to shave, then they're fine. They're just as good as Gillette.
Oh, okay, good. I hate to say something. They just got a customer now just because you said it. Because I was waiting for somebody that I can personally trust to say that they were good.
Yeah, they're good, man. I get the 5-pack. The 5-pack every single month. I get the pack in, and sometimes if you don't use them consistently, they rack up. I know I got about 4 or 5 boxes, and they still ain't used yet.
Right, but that ain't bad. I will definitely do that. That's why they've just got a customer now.
I know they're in competition with Bevel though. They're in competition with Bevel because Bevel supposed to have better quality shit, but just like a little bit more expensive.
Okay. Have you tried Bevel too or no?
Nah, I haven't tried Bevel, but somebody recommended Bevel. But I ain't got no complaints with Dollar Shave Club yet.
Yeah.
Even though the black man supposedly ain't supposed to use razor blades on our skin. Supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
What are you supposed to do?
What do you mean?
These electric shavers.
Oh, okay.
Something about the razor blades doesn't really work with our skin. I guess.
Jesse, what is their stock price?
I don't know, KB.
Does anyone know in the chat what their selling price is?
Oh, okay. Brainwash asked the question about, okay, I challenge you to do some research on the Star Spangled Banner and let me know what do you think black should stand for. I'll let you know that right there. I'm going to tell you like this is. To me, I felt it was a very good protest. I mean, for people to be coming out and calling him racist names and all this other shit, I think that was very immature. And anybody that sees that, hey, that's a perfect way to protest. I mean, think about it. If they got everybody to say, you know what, we're not going to stand until you guys do something with the treatment of black people by police. I'm pretty sure if you had, think about how many, America loves its sports, and if at every sports games people were just sitting down, that would, I mean, you could see the numbers taking your side.
Okay, Dre, I can understand there's no question that, excuse me, protesting and those types of what some people consider deviant behavior pushes for change in society. We can see that's happened in the past, and that's just the way that works. But when you say, and I'm nothing personal, I'm just saying, when you say it will force change, it will force to change the treatment of blacks by the police officers, is that what you said?
Well, but back to people. I hate to say it doesn't even matter at all, but I mean, literally, I don't know if you've heard enough of my shows, but literally, I think no matter who gets shot, all of them should be investigated. You're getting paid by the taxpayers.
And I completely agree with that.
Every shooting, no matter what.
I can't deny that there are bad cops and bad things are happening to people at the hands of bad cops. I mean, I can't deny that.
Right.
But if what we're saying is true, then what should the white people do who are treated unfairly by bad cops? Because the number is great.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, like,
privilege.
The number is definitely greater with them. But the fact is simple. I figure like this: if they make that rule where all of them, it doesn't matter white or black, technically, I'm paying your salary. I should know why the hell you shot. That's just what it is. If you don't like the job, don't take the job, and that's really what it is.
Well, I definitely believe there should be outside investigations on these things. I don't think it should be left up to the very department who employs these people. That makes no sense at all.
I mean, literally, that's exactly what we're going through. That's exactly what's happening. It should be, outside company that's not affiliated with the police in any way. They don't sit down and have drinks with them or go out after the work. No. It should be an independent company, plain and simple. If it's not, anytime you shoot and kill somebody, and considering that I know because we had, 6 cops in a neighboring city of mine, they got fired. What's so bad is they were fired, two of them were fired twice. Now, how the hell do 5 cops get fired and then rehired by the same city?
One of the issues I have is you can't sit here and say that a country is oppressing you when you're making a fucking $100 million.
Yeah. But hypocritical. Let me not be oppressing you, but the other people.
Oh, Ether.
That makes no damn sense.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I can make $100 million. This guy over here that I'm playing with on the same team is making $100 million. Here's a fucking opportunity for everyone.
Okay, some people got that privilege because you was raised by 2 white parents.
Say that again?
He was raised by 2.
Some people got that privilege because he was raised by 2 white parents.
I mean, obviously there's free speech. People fought and died for free speech. I mean, you can't, there's just not going to be a way, or we shouldn't, I suppose, try to stop that. It would be ridiculous.
One of my things is
I was being sarcastic, Miss KB.
Flag is just a symbol.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. My thing is the representation of it is you're just shitting on every single person that fought and died for your fucking freedom so you can make that $100 million.
And so that you can step on the flag.
That's the shit that's fucked up. You're no different than the motherfuckers that go to a soldier's funeral and protest.
Yeah, I will never advocate any behavior like that whatsoever.
And how am I speaking on both sides of my mouth, Brain?
Oh, I want to know too. So wait a minute. Let me ask you a question though. So KP, when that damn Star Spangled Banner comes on, do you stand up and hold your heart?
Absolutely.
Really? Oh, okay.
My father fought and served this damn country, and I respect my father. And there's plenty of men that did not come back home with him. They fought so I can have the freedoms I have now, that I can make the money I have now. I don't make $100 million, but I make a little bit of bucks. And I'm sorry, it's 2016. What the fuck is you crying about? What's oppressing you in 2016?
I just think that was just one young man's opinion being surrounded by the bullshit that they post in the media was going on. I think he just felt like speaking on it or some shit.
I don't see anything wrong with what he did. I mean, some people may not like it, but I don't see anything wrong with what he did. I mean, to me, it's a peaceful protest. Nobody was hurt.
Oh no, Brain, hey, for the chat, Brain is cool, man. We go through these debates all the time. He's a cool dude.
No, but I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the football player.
No, I was telling the chat they thought me and Brain was beefing. No, man, that's my boy. He's cool.
Brain supposed to act like this. Remember, well, one of the things on this show is this.
You don't.
A lot of people don't know the rules of the show because I don't go on. Personal opinions and points of views will be attacked here, and it's greatly encouraged. But we will not attack you personally. But we will attack your point of view and your opinion to see can it hold up to scrutiny.
No, for the chat, Brain, if you guys know him, this is something we do all the time. We sit here and shoot it all day long and have a good laugh at the end. It's cool.
Right. That's how we have fun here because see, sometimes you may not change your point of view, but you may alter it because of someone else's opinion or something else that you came into saying, oh, well, I understand that. I never took that into consideration. That's what we do here.
I can't fault someone for being, and I know what you're going to say, KP, but I cannot fault someone. I cannot fault people who are hurt or feel bad for how their people, so to speak, are treated or have been treated. I can't fault someone for that. But I mean
that's
really,
just humanity, though.
Yeah, I know. I'm never going to do that. But I just feel like. I feel like it's in my personal opinion is all of those things, stepping on the flag. You're standing in front of a veteran who went and served the country and came back, and you're stomping on the flag and cussing in his face. I mean, it's insult. It's a pure insult for someone who was glad to even step foot back on this land. And as you're stomping on that flag, you're insulting the very person who makes it possible for you to even do that and not be arrested or whatever. I find it very insulting. I find it really it just makes me really uneasy to see people doing that.
Did he say he was doing that to disrespect the military or something? Did he directly say that, or are you just saying personally? Are you just saying personally that's the way it feels?
That's the way it felt personally.
Okay.
What he stood up for was for the mistreatment of minorities, or we should say, quote unquote, blacks, by police officers. That's what I'm getting from other sources. I haven't talked to the man directly, so I don't know why.
And Brain says that he's a veteran, and he agrees with him. And that's okay because that's your choice. I mean, that's how you feel. But by and large, I feel like the veterans that I've known, and I've known a lot of veterans in my career, and I just really, I can't stand to look at them and see how that hurts them.
I guess, Brain, when you're saying it's a poem, it's not a song, actually. When you speak about the Star Spangled Banner, which verse are you referring to?
Right. If you want to join the show, I'm going to post a link so you guys can. KP, we're getting feedback from you.
Oh, I drop out, come back.
Wait, did he actually step on the flag, or was that just a metaphor?
I don't know if he did, but I know other people were.
That was just actually it was a video I saw today that happened.
There's a black girl standing on the flag. I seen that one.
Oh, okay. So I think when it comes to that, I think it's they dropped off. Well, I think when it comes to that, I think he was just more indicating fuck whatever inside government or angles they take towards minorities and black people. I don't think it was angled at the whole country, which I think it obviously wasn't. I just saw it. That's all I think it really was. Just like if I say, no, LeBron ain't shit, that don't mean I'm disrespecting the whole Cavs. That don't mean I don't like Kyrie Irving.
How dare you talk about my team that way?
It was an example, you know. I had to, give an example. I win.
My team as an example. All right now. All right now.
I don't understand.
Oh, they back on.
The comment that Brain made. Oh, I just lost it. About people feeling uneasy. It says that's the part that kills me. Everything makes people feel uneasy except black peoples in this country.
Well, I can understand that.
Black folk are sensitive.
It's like, I mean, think about it. They did it probably was a big bigger uproar over him not standing for the flag than over any one of the black people that got killed.
He said, he followed that up and said, you guys don't feel uneasy about any negative thing that happens to us. And for me personally, that's not true. I do feel uneasy. I feel terrible about the bad things that happen. I do.
Well, I've never looked at a person as white or black, because that's actually my friend Steve is actually trying to make an account now. He's trying to get in here. He's a white guy. But one of the things we talk about this is it has nothing to do with skin color. All these people that sit up here and think that this skin color has nothing to do with that. That is just to get fighting over dumb shit so we don't focus on the real problem at hand, and that's the upper 0.5%. That's where the problem lies.
And that's the agenda, the media agenda, and otherwise that's not necessarily the media, that's the avenue that it takes that we talk about, I've mentioned before, the agenda, you know. It's propaganda that makes people act the way they do.
Yep. I think he just slipped into the hype, you know.
Get some stuff here. Did you say, the slave verse? Which verse is you referring to?
Ooh, that's like a cold ass mixtape. Slave verse. I'm still in that shit. Whoever said that.
Well, yeah, if you can say what verse that is, let us know.
Slave verse. I have to Google that shit.
1, 2, 3, or 4.
And while we're doing that, I want to thank you guys for watching Debating Woes with your host, Judge Dre. Please like, share, subscribe, and definitely hit the donate button down there, because that's what keeps the show going. We're going to go ahead and check this link out here that our friend Brain put in here. Let's see what he's talking about. Slavery in the whenever it decides to load and the national anthem. Let's see.
I want to make another. I want to ask y'all a question after we're done with this link.
Go ahead. You can go ahead and ask it now while I'm reading the link real quick.
Oh, okay. So, is it the same outrage, or is it pressed? Is it pressed on the youth to stand up during the damn Pledge of Allegiance? Is it the same outrage when the youth don't want to do it? Do they shove it down the youth's throat that you need to stand up just because it is what it is?
Well, one of the things I've noticed when it comes to America, period, if you realize something, damn near everything that we used to do is being changed. I mean, we're fighting, to me, about some of the stupidest things. To me, this is, another one of those things to make us seem, fight about race and all that rather than handling the main problem. That's what it is. I went to that site and started playing a video, but I don't think it really has anything to do with that. I think it really they just want something to something to complain about. They basically like this is they need a story. I mean, that's really what it is. I've always felt it's never about black and white. It's about the haves and the have-nots.
I think nobody is passionate about America unless you have a personal connect to it the way KP does. Nobody has that same. Nobody celebrates 4th of July for what it is. 4th of July is to get drunk and eat barbecue and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the swimmer embarrassing the country. What did the swimmer do? I don't see what the swimmer did. Who is he talking about? Brain, who are you talking about with the swimmer embarrassing the country?
I don't know who you talking about. Show
Yeah,
ain't folks though.
my
He
brain
bring it on the
yeah,
golf course.
he asked the question. It's Obama saw him becoming president really scared all the clothes. I'm gonna say like this: if the racists they're still alive, they're just real old, and as each generation goes by, there's gonna be less and less of them. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
They don't realize something. If the white people who are racist, them uppity people like that, them 190 and 80 years old, if they was racist and they wanted to continue racism, the worst thing they ever did was let the LBGYT, I don't know the letters. I don't want to say them all because I don't want to miss somebody. But ever since they allowed them to make any changes, that ended all their racism right there. Because that's the problem. Once you allow them and you start being nice to them, then that means you don't discriminate against people. And then basically that just brought more heat on any racist person. Wait, you discriminate? Oh, wait, you know what I mean? And they just really attack you. Once they passed that first law, I was one of the people back then that said, oh, you don't realize something. That's opening the door because I'm an analyzer, so I pay attention to other things that will eventually happen. And I said, wait a minute. They sit up here and they said they're not going to discriminate. And then look what they did. I'm going to go ahead and post the link here so you guys, if anyone else wants to join the conversation, they'll be able to join. What do you think about that, Slack? You're a younger person. What do you see in the younger generation?
I'm sorry, Dre. I was reading the damn comment box. I'm sorry. I didn't hear everything you said.
Right. I'm just saying, gave them rights, gay rights and all that. I mean, think about it. They're fighting over bathrooms and stuff like that now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I'm getting adjusted to what you're talking about. Yeah, they got more rights than anybody else since Obama got in office. They didn't got more privileges and shit more than anybody else.
But don't you realize it, too, that helps in an indirect way, help with the racism. Because if you discriminate against any one of them and you're caught, that's like the worst thing you can do in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what really I think,
If you make a comment, you got tens of millions of people throwing it at you.
Definitely.
If you in a comment with, if you're in a room with 100 people and you make a comment, it's gonna be at least 60 of them people down your throat.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because they got a friend, cousin, uncle, sister, nephew, brother, girlfriend. No.
Themselves.
And literally, you're not gonna hear the end of it. And one thing I will say, their community, when they want to push to get a bill passed or get something, they know how to come out in strength.
Mm-hmm.
We can learn a lot from them.
I think most of them know they got the advantages. Look, I know it don't take as much effort to get something done as it does, suppose, as far as race. Race has it a little bit harder. They know they have a slight advantage. They know they just got to push the agenda and they'll eventually get it done.
Right.
I just hate, the only thing I just really despise about it is kind of like if you don't agree with them 100%, they just think you just are homophobic, period.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like Christian folk. If you say you're atheist, they just assume you're a devil worshiper or some shit.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
That's the worst thing you do. What? Yeah. Atheist. Devil worshiper.
No, it's not what it means. No. If I say I would never let my son be Nicki Minaj for Halloween, what? You not letting him express himself? What if he feel that way? Well, when he get grown, he can feel any way he wants to.
He ain't being Nicki Minaj in my house.
If that's the way he feel, he ain't gonna feel that way around me.
Right, definitely. Jenny said, I understand, but whites aren't the only races. You're right about that. They definitely aren't.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I've noticed Uh, you know, I say Asians. Yeah, I mean, black people. I do admit this is. I think if anything, black people have actually sparked up more racism in the last couple of years than average. I still say that they still have us outnumbered, but we have made us. Our numbers have definitely increased. But I think that's because of social media, and we've just been. It was always in the back of our minds, but I think that social media and the televisions are just playing on that right now.
Dre, elaborate on how you think we did to ourselves. You said that black people bring racism on themselves.
No, I'm not saying we did it to himself. I'm saying that we sparked it up. Like we sparked it up a lot more lately because we've always had these underlying issues where we always think about it's been drilled into our heads by our parents that hey, black people, you can't do this, that, and the other. I mean, literally, my grandmother even told me, shit, I never thought I'd ever see a black president. I mean, literally. And I mean, I ain't even gonna lie. I remember when I was volunteering at the school, one of the things after they said Obama won the election, I wasn't supposed to volunteer that next day. I said, oh no, I called off. I called the people I was working for. No, I can't go to work today. I got to go up here to volunteer to school. Because my job, I just wanted to hear all these little kids run around talking about, I'm gonna grow up and be president, and then look at some of these teachers' faces and see whether they're racist or not.
So you think that we gas up some of these problems bigger than what we're used to?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, okay, I agree.
I definitely that. I mean, we want to say black guy gets shot with a gun. Oh, the only reason they shot him, he was racist. No, the motherfucker had a gun. What the hell do you expect? Now, some things I will say that, we don't get the fair treatment when it comes to if we are with a gun, they'll try to take them more alive. I do notice it's a bigger preservation for life when it comes to them, I've noticed.
Oh, yeah. When there's white people, it's taser guns and pepper spray. For the black folks, it's just automatically bullets.
But Asher said Middle Eastern people just like black people. It's obvious here in Detroit.
What?
Okay.
Hold up.
Wow,
Wait a minute.
I never knew that.
I disagree. Especially growing up in high school, I swear they closer to black than any other race. I swear.
You think so?
Really, just personally, in my experience, Middle Eastern people, I don't know about the older ones. I would say the younger ones in that 20 to 30 range. I swear you can hang with them quicker than anybody else. Or like, an open-minded black person can hang with them and relate to them a lot more. That's just my opinion, based on how I see it.
Definitely. I think too the stereotypes have already taught. Oh God, most black people. We have bad stereotypes against us. Lazy, always want to fight. I mean, television doesn't help.
Well, how many of those stereotypes are actually true, though, Dre?
Some of them are kind of true, and then some of them are just blown way overboard.
Like what?
What stereotypes are true? When I say about black people,
blown overboard.
Oh, what's blowing overboard? That every black man want to hit you upside the head. That literally like that is. Every black man, that even when he's not screaming and hollering, is still ready to just like 2.3 seconds away from snapping and ripping your head off.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they gas it up.
That's
ain't that serious.
I mean, because literally, I'm gonna tell you like this: if anything is black men have not been super aggressive and beat your ass type people in at least. You guys at least give them about 20 years. These new black men are way docile than we used to be.
I don't know about that one, man.
Yeah, I think that people in our age group are down because I hate to say we've been feminized too much to where we've been taught, we've been raised to respect the police. We've been raised that you better just shut the fuck up because you don't want to get shot.
I think that's why they a little bit. They have a hair trigger now.
Well, I don't know, Dre. I really think that you're slighting the angry ass white men.
Well, I'm not saying a black man. I'm talking about that. You trying to say that? I'm just saying that we're a little bit more docile than we were.
No, I mean when you say people think that the black man is a few seconds away from blowing off the handle, I think you're, forgetting to recognize some of these angry ass white men.
Oh, that's blow up fucking buildings and shit.
Well,
yeah. drive down the road. Who's the angry ass driver?
Well, I'm gonna tell you. Oh, well, just that.
Maybe
I don't know.
Taliban.
I don't know if you heard about the woman who was shot here in Solon. That's a neighboring suburb of where I live. Well, two neighboring suburbs away. Basically, the gentleman was in a car accident. He ran through the lights, hit the old woman going to work. She was like 50-something years old. His car flipped over like 4 times. She crawled out the car. He crawled out the car. He reached in there and pulled out an assault rifle and just blew her away after she got out the car. The woman's like 50 years old, and like when he got out the car, she saw him, and I guess she was trying to realize, hey, I'm not no threat. She put her hands up, and he just blew her away. That happened right here, and I mean, basically, we sit there and laugh because my mom and them were saying, well, already he's white already, and I'm like, what are you talking about? He's white already, definitely. Why is that? He said because it's already been 3-4 hours, and they didn't talk about show his picture and none of that shit.
Right.
They waited almost 12 hours before they showed his picture. That's how you know. He's like, oh, if it's black people, they got a picture right away.
Yeah.
He said that's how you can tell. If it's white people.
I'm just saying the fact is that that we all obviously we know that not any certain people have a corner on the market for being angry,
Right. I don't know.
Don't y'all go ahead?
He was a war, came back from the war, not because I'm not going to give him an excuse, but maybe when that car flipped over and all that stuff, they're used to that crap there. I'm hoping that that's what he was. He was, in the war and he just had a snapback. That's what I'm hoping, but who knows? It just happened, Not saying that's an excuse.
No, I understand that.
But to me, I fault the government on that too, because this is the problem is the government send these soldiers to war, and then they bring them back home and treat them like crap.
Right, that's the point I was about to bring up. When it comes to black folk, when you make the assumption that, or the media try to make the assumption that we're much more violent, doesn't it kind of show that we're kind of like taught to be a lot more physical and violent compared to if a white man does something like that? There's clearly some type of illness or some shit that they can turn to. With a black person, it's just like you're just influenced by some shit or by where you live at and shit like that. Because like Cat Williams said, behind every joke is some true shit. Niggas try to act hard 24/7, no matter what. They'll know how to walk away from the situation.
Mm-hmm. I'll say what that is. It's just that I think if anything is a lot of these like cops, they were probably beat up by kids, and that's the problem they have. They're always picked on as bullies in school. On top of that, so now they've gotten a little power, so now they feel like they the shit because they got that gun and badge and numbers. So now they want to, they took all the mass whippings in school, so now they want to dish out one. And then on top of that, I say they have very bad training. They have no de-escalation training when it comes to the police. What they'll do is, think about it. Your barber has more damn, time and training than your damn cop does. Now, think about this. Your barber, last time I checked, they ain't pulling teeth and shit like they used to do anymore. And you want to tell me that your barber?
Made that point. He made that point. He said they only got like 6 months of training. Mm-hmm. He made some comparison to how this has like 2 years of training. So you telling me this much smaller occupation has this much more training?
Right. Barbers, damn near, I hate to say when it comes to police training, damn near any field you go into has more training. And you're going to tell me you got the right to kill people and you don't need to be trained?
Mm-hmm.
This guy is right here. The worst thing you can do is give him a bad haircut and he's got to go 2 weeks.
You could be a dentist and it takes longer.
Oh, no. Well, back then, barbers used to be able to do that. Pull teeth and draw blood and all that shit. You know that, right?
It was a one-stop shop.
Nah.
Yeah. Back then, that's the reason why the barber pole is red and white, because it's supposed to symbolize the tiles and stuff. So the red ones were the blood ones.
Well, they used to do bloodletting.
All day.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All that stuff.
Yeah, before my time.
Yeah, before your time. Just if you just do the history of barbershops.
Like the dude cutting your hair knows how to do something medically, you know.
Right. They can do all
Also a
that.
singer, barbershop quartet.
Right.
Well, shit. Learn something every day, I guess.
Yeah, that was way back in the day, man.
The dental and
Yeah.
I don't know about that, Brain. About policing areas you don't live in.
What do you
I can
mean?
go either way on that one.
That's a reach, Brain. That's a reach. Brain, get on the panel.
Right, you have all this stuff here. Why don't you come on and join? We
Yeah, so
won't
you
bite.
and KP can clock heads.
yeah, I could go either way on the you shouldn't be policing an area you don't live in. In our small town for years, the police force, so to speak, there were about 3 cops, and they lived in the area and policed, and there was always some crap happening. I mean, you could get away with a lot more if you were their friend, or they could be chasing you around the town, you know, trying to beat your ass.
Yep. Plus, if you got like a personal relationship with the police, they're not gonna stereotype you so quickly.
Definitely.
God damn, Ralph.
Is he asleep?
This was rap, obviously.
But
I mean, I think it's for police. Number one, you need to understand the basis of take a sociology class. You need to understand the people that you're encountering. That's the big thing. You have to understand language and culture. Truly, blacks speak louder than any other damn race in America. That's in school books.
Right.
But if you're not taught that, you will perceive that as aggression.
Right.
You have to understand this. And number one, you shouldn't have rookies just running around here. Those rookies should be with some experienced damn cops.
Or men.
There we go.
Definitely.
That's
But I mean,
common
most of the
sense.
time they're just taught by it, and if they're bad cops, this is the problem. We don't get the bad cops out the system. And, you know, that's really what it is. They can stay around too long, and most of the time they taint the new ones.
They get paid vacation.
Right. Literally. I used to, you know, when I was a manager, and I used to tell my, you know, man, I said, you see these plaques up on the wall, how we used to be the best district in the country. And I told him, I said, I'm going to just tell you like this, you'll never see another motherfucker up there on the wall. Because, you know, this is back when we were in the office. And I told him, you'll never see another motherfucker up on the wall like that again. I said, and I told him, I'm going to just tell you like this. To be honest, you got too many bad apples in here. You need to get rid of some of the, I don't give a damn, they've been here 10 and 15 years. Who gives a shit? They are tainting the new people when they come in. And that they taint the new people to where they won't work as hard, they will never be as productive. And what happens is, they figured as well, you're not going to fire them even though they're kind of assholes and snippy because they know these are the highest productive people we have. So we're not going to get rid of them. But we need to knock one of these two people. I used to call them a rat pack. And I said we need to get, knock off a couple of these heads of the rat packs. That way, the others either fall in line or slip up. But, it's like they've never had the guts to fire people. And literally within a year, my manager lost his job. Our district manager lost his job because of issues with our company. A lot of times, you let the new people come in. They're tainted by the older people, saying that they ain't gonna do this, that, and the other, and they want to take all the easy jobs where the new people got to sit here and grind it out. People get tired of that shit.
Pope.
But also, when you have these officers in these neighborhoods, you need to rotate these cops. You can't fucking stick a cop in a high stress area constantly. Eventually, he's going to snap.
unless he wants to be there. I mean, some people, they like the high stress environment. I hate to say, I will admit one thing when I was working at
Nobody wants to work in that.
I love the high stress environment. I loved it.
No. You need to rotate, get some time off, hit the desk for a while, just to get you out of that scene.
Right.
Because this shit gets stressful day in and day out.
Oh, shit. I guess it depends on the person. I mean, it didn't bother me at the end. But see, I think I might be an exception to the rule. I actually strive better on stress because when a high stress environment basically be super stressful, but at the end of the day, you can see a big difference when you get these people to sign all these forms and they say you're the best. You know, they'll leave their kids with you. But yet, when you first walked in the door as an auditor, they didn't want to see your ass at all. And now they're like, "Oh, come over for dinner," and all.
I mean, think about it. Think about the military. Those guys have to get R&R to get the fuck away from that shit.
Oh, definitely. That's a big difference when you got, worry about somebody's life in your hands or your life.
I guess if they did that, if they practiced that, like taking them out of the high stress area for even short periods of time, it would almost be like giving them time to debrief.
Right.
I don't know.
I can understand that.
And I don't think they should take people straight out of combat and put them on the streets either.
That's something I definitely don't agree with.
Like veterans, people who just get home. I don't think that's a very good idea.
Well, technically, I think it's too. They can put that in the budget to where every officer that comes home, put it to where he cannot work for at least 8 months, and he gets his full salary as if he's there. And people say, well, oh my gosh, that's going to be tremendous. What the hell are you talking about? You spend billions and billions of dollars on war anyway. What's another billion? I mean, no offense. We sitting here upgrading our damn fighter jets, and we ain't even lost one.
Right.
I mean, what? For real?
It's called war profiteering, man.
Brain says some people can't handle the power that comes with being a police officer. I think that theory was proven with the Stanford experiment that just even a normal mix of people given some power can harm other people in the end. They'll turn into people. They do things they never thought they had inside of them. Just because they have control and power over people.
Do you guys know what the Stanford experiment is?
What the what?
Stanford experiment.
What is that? No, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, basically what they ended up doing, they did a psychological experiment. They took a group of college kids that volunteered. They said, we're going to make a mock prison. We're going to have prison guards and prisoners.
Oh, okay.
And the people who were in charge, the prison guards, just fucking started abusing the shit out of the prisoners.
Like, for real?
For real.
Ah, I saw a movie like that, man.
And they ended up doing a movie out of it.
Yeah.
Shit, what's his name? The Crooked Eye. Oh, fuck, I can't think of it. They got a lazy ass eye.
Forrest Whitaker.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. He was in it. That's right.
Yep.
I liked it.
So that's what happens with a lot of your cops. They never had any fucking power. They get power. It goes right to their fucking head.
Yep, definitely. But
movie,
like I said, when they said Spider-Man with great power comes great responsibility, a lot of people don't realize that's probably the most, if any little kid should know, that's the most important rule in life. A lot of people cannot manage in a position and say, oh, I'm going to treat people with respect. And I mean, literally, when I was manager at my job, most people say this. I'm pretty sure you guys have told me once or twice too, I'm too nice. But to me, just because I'm the boss does not mean I have to act like an asshole. As long as you're getting your work done and you're doing what you're supposed to do, I'm fine. You're not making a company look bad. I want my workers to be happy because to me, I think happy workers work harder.
In that movie, it all started off like the people of enforcement that started creating their own power. But then like it slowly went up. It started off like it's push-ups, and then it started off like you got to piss on this person and shit though.
Oh man.
That's
So
how
I
this,
think.
that's
Say
how
what?
this experiment ended up going to the point they had to stop the fucking experiment.
Yeah.
And the people actually suffered long-term effects from going through that.
I can imagine that. Like, what were some of the effects that they suffered? Do you know?
I know it was like some type of PTSD. They were exhibiting some type of PTSD, you know, fear, and I don't know. I can't remember the whole thing. But it was a good exhibit of just bringing completely, seemingly normal people together and just seeing what people will do given a little bit of control over other people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I say it's very hard to get in a position of power and not abuse it. That's true. That's mainly what it is.
Yep. That's why I can never be a cop. I'll be a fucking crooked cop. That's why I never want to do it.
You would.
Fuck yes, I would.
What would you do?
There would be no dope money ever turned in.
Oh man, you'd be fired just like the fools next in the city next to us. But to go to show you how, I mean, the whole system is crooked because literally, the previous mayor he got fired because they went on his computer and found that he liked to sometimes engage in sex with men and sometimes dress like a woman. So they went on his personal computer, he had left at work, and that's what mainly got him kicked out of office.
What the fuck that got to do with his personal life?
No shit. That's what. And what's so bad is he was the best mayor because the East Cleveland had ever had because they were actually able to pay their bills and do all of this crap here. Immediately literally when he came into office, he fired like 5 or 6 people that off rip where he said, look, I don't have enough evidence to put you guys in jail. So I'm going to just tell you guys like this. You guys are fired because I know that you're stealing and doing underhanded things. Immediately after that, when they fired him, the new mayor came in, hired of the 5 people he fired, he hired all 5 of them back. Wow. They set up a crooked thing to where what they were doing is they said if you didn't hire East Cleveland cops as off-duty security officers, if your place of business ever called the police, they would not come.
Damn.
They would not come right away. So they would just, you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not just to show you to create a monopoly and stuff there. Well, so bad. The old mayor is still he's very involved. Like you can even find him on Facebook. And I mean, he still to this day talks about the shit, and always posting shit because he really cared for the city. And he was one of the people that really cared for the city. And he literally within every 5-6 days, there's something about East Cleveland. You would swear up and down that he was the damn mayor of the city still because he's still involved in all the stuff. And I said, you fire him just because he was wearing a dress and maybe messing with men? I really don't care who he sleeps with as long as he does his job right.
Fuck, J. Edgar Hoover was a cross-dresser. He ain't fired him?
No, plain and simple. They did the job, they were doing such a bad job, they can't afford to fix the traffic lights, so half the traffic lights there don't work. All of the businesses are closed, so they put a damn near red light camera on every fucking corner. Every corner there's a red light camera and a speeding camera. And it's like, what? I mean, literally, the East Cleveland is a very small city, and they have more red light cameras and speeding cameras than probably cities 5 times their size.
Is it predominantly black?
Yeah, it's predominantly black. But, dude, one of the problems is this. Now, I'm pretty sure that their population is down to at least 40% of the homes are vacant or abandoned. So, I mean, the city is falling into disarray. There's no taxpayers. I mean, literally, there's probably 18,000 people paying taxes in East Cleveland. And they can't collect taxes on the other. So how can a city survive that way? A city can't survive because, you're not getting any tax money.
How far are you away from the stadium?
Where we are? We are...
Cleveland to the stadium.
Cleveland Brown Stadium?
Or Cavaliers, whatever. What's
right. That's downtown Cleveland. I am about 10 miles.
You're in East Cleveland?
No, I'm in Cleveland Heights. That's actually East Cleveland is actually a neighboring city. Cleveland Heights is a residential city. Actually, East Cleveland used to be a residential city and used to be known for being a very nice city. You know, they used to even compete with us when they came through. Like one of the first millionaires, they lived in East Cleveland. That's to show you where that area used to be really nice. But then what happened is, you know, there was always a big rival between like where we stay in Cleveland Heights and East Cleveland, especially during games back then. That was back when, my mother was going to high school. By the time I was going to middle school, by the time I was like at middle school and all that, the rivalry had really died down because East Cleveland was going down then. You know, and now East Cleveland is a damn ghost town. I mean, literally, you want to go down there, if you need to buy a gun, drugs, anything, just go to East Cleveland.
Damn.
I mean, literally. It's gotten so bad down there that if you get arrested for any little thing, they will not let you out no less than 5 days because they're trying to squeeze bail money out of everybody. And you can't use bail bondsmen. You got to pay the money to them.
Hey, Zealous, come on the panel and explain what you're saying, man, about a new anthem.
He's speaking about the 4th of July and commenting that everyone wasn't free. That reminds me of the Frederick Douglass speech, actually. So now, I mean, after I read that speech, I swear I think of that every 4th of July.
I just added you, Zelo, if you want to, where you can come in if you want to come in. You have been added. You have been added. And I'll post a link if anybody else wants to join.
Maybe he was talking about trap music. We need an anthem.
Say what?
God bless America.
Yeah, you guys are killing me with this national anthem shit, man.
I mean, so.
It's your right to do it.
God bless America.
All right, Zealous, what you got?
How's everybody doing? Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, I was just gonna say, at first I was gonna kind of go at brainwash a little bit because we have, battles here and there over black people and what we do these days, and I don't think he tries to excuse things. I just think he wants to rationalize it, which makes sense. I'm kind of on his side with that because I was thinking about, I know we don't talk about certain people here, but there was a guy who we used to watch a lot, and he had a video about 4th of July. And he was saying, why are you African Americans celebrating this if you guys weren't even free, or at least a number of you guys weren't free whenever the independence thing, began. A lot of us were still slaves. A lot of us were still oppressed, and whatnot. I wasn't. I'm good, but a lot of us were. So I mean, it's like we celebrate this every time, but it's not really our freedom. It's not our independence. I mean, do you agree with that?
Definitely.
I have
and also, oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I would have to agree with that. And whenever I think of that, I think of that Frederick Douglass poem. And I forgot the name. I had to look it up. But it's called What to the Slave is the 4th of July. It's a really good poem. Speech. Look it up, people.
I will. I mean, I would love to read that because I was thinking about that. Same with the whole female voting and whatnot, how a lot of African American women, or just usually other than white, weren't really allowed to vote at the time either. But they all celebrate this whole woman voting stuff that Hillary was flaunting not too long ago. So it's like, you guys realize you guys weren't allowed to vote, and same goes for the I think you guys were talking about the anthem and how I think Colin Kaepernick or someone didn't raise his hand or stand up for it or whatever. I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, stand up during the damn national anthem.
Yeah, see, and I'm like, hey, as a kid, yeah, we had to salute to the flag and all that stuff, but as an adult, you see what's going on these days? I mean, yeah, black people are being radical and whatnot, but there's a lot of black people that are being, including myself, that are being discriminated by every day, by police and certain other, race and whatnot. So it's like, why should we have to stand up for that shit? Now, if you're in the military, I understand, and I had 2 years of military class. I mean, I really got into that, but after a while, I was thinking, well, shit, we were in the front line dying. We're in the front line getting killed, and there were not too many people caring about what happened to us. Now later on, yeah, but not in the beginning. And then two, I don't know if we should be so happy about this national anthem. I really don't think we should, personally. I mean, I hate to sound rude or mean, but we shouldn't. I don't care. I don't really care about the American flag, to be honest with you. I like what it represents, but I think it's bullshit. I like what it wants to represent, what they're trying to make it represent, but I still think it's bullshit. You know what I mean, KP?
I don't think that it should dismiss anything that's ever happened, and I don't know that everyone is trying to dismiss or make excuses for everything that happened. I just feel, I guess it's just the bottom line, it's the flag of the country that we all live in, and I'm not trying to dismiss all of the wrongs that have
That's
happened.
understandable. That makes sense.
Because I mean that we can't deny what happened or what happens. We can't deny that. But it's still the flag that represents the country we live in. And it's still the flag people died for.
Well, I'll say what it represented. It was what people died for, not so much the flag itself. It reminds me of gangbangers. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people bang, you know, the red and blue and stuff, and I'm like, what you representing? The color or what block you're on? Or I mean, like, what are you representing with that? Some people kill somebody for wearing red. I'm like, but is it the red or is it that is it disrespectful to what you believe in, whatever it may be? So I think American flag is a symbol, and I do appreciate what it stands for. I don't think it reigns as true or freedom rings as they say, but I think in this day and age we are probably the most freest as we've ever been. I will give America credit for that because I'm not being shot. If I am, it's by someone that's of my own color, and I'm not being, you know, I'm not a slave. I don't have to drink at different water fountain or use a different restroom, unless I'm a Target. But sorry, but you know, so go ahead, Kate.
Oh, I was just going to say, and I do think in large part it was people taking a stand against the wrong things that were going on that helped make those advances. I mean, and I mentioned that earlier, when people protest and when people, and I don't mean just black people, I mean, if you look through the past when people protested and they were causing uprisings or, you know, standing up and voicing their opinions, those types of behaviors essentially force change sometimes.
You are so right. I agree completely with you on that. And I mean, and we've all done it. It wasn't like it was just black or white. Most to all people have stood up in some way, shape, or form for what they believe in. So I do think if you're if America means that, if that's what the flag means, I'm more than happy to support it. If it truly means that. But a lot of people, they're quick to judge someone like Colin Kaepernick and anyone else for that matter who don't do exactly what they're supposed to do in these occasions. Some people just don't know what to do. Some others just don't care. Now, you can educate them. You can help them understand why that's important, like you're doing to me right now, Miss KP. You're helping me realize things that I just wasn't thinking about a moment ago. So, I mean, that's what we need to do, not, you know, get on their cases. We need to educate them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of the things I find funny is when nobody talking about this shit 2 weeks ago.
I don't think
this shit's hilarious. No, everybody wants to sit there and say, "Oh, the national anthem is racist and this." What happened 8 days ago? Didn't nobody say shit?
Right.
Well, I don't know that that's necessarily true. It wasn't probably on the news. Well, yes, I've heard. I mean, haven't you heard that type of thing before?
Well, have you heard this about the national anthem?
Well, I'm just saying, I don't.
No, have you heard this?
Answer the question.
Okay, we're going to mute ourselves for a minute. No, I'm kidding.
Damn you.
No, I'm joking. Well, I appreciate what you said, Zelix, and I just think that there are so many things that we can't deny, and I don't think that people speaking out on the flag or the national anthem are brand new.
That's still not the question.
But I do not think that it was in the news every day like it is right now because someone very prominent stood out against it. So of course the media is going to jump on it, and it's going to be in the news for the last few days.
Have you heard it? If anybody on this panel heard this.
Okay, has anybody on the panel?
Yeah, I did.
chat room
I've
ever
heard it
heard of
before.
anyone speaking out about the national anthem or the flag?
I have not heard
Yes,
it.
I
The
have.
flag,
I heard the
yes.
flag a couple of months ago when a woman was standing on the flag in front of the soldiers.
Yeah.
I heard that then, but I have not heard it since then. I do admit, though, I'm not the best person because lately, ever since I've been running shows and working on my own, I haven't been able to follow social media as much.
You made a very broad question. I just asked everybody heard about the national anthem and this part, the third verse, being so racist.
Oh,
Oh,
Didn't even know it had more than one verse.
I don't think nobody's heard that shit except
Isn't
the
that so
person.
stupid,
What'd you say, Slacks?
I don't think nobody's heard about that shit except for the person who mentioned it.
yeah.
Yep, she's ducking and dodging these motherfucking questions too, Coach.
Uh-huh.
All
Nah,
right.
but the only time I heard some shit about the flag was probably about 5 damn years ago when Lil Wayne made a song called God Bless America and he stepped on the damn flag and they blew that shit up. That's how I know they just blowing this up bigger than what it needs to be.
Before Kaepernick, I can guarantee you 80 to 90% of the people in this motherfucking chat didn't know who wrote it.
I won't deny it.
I knew
those things to the
at
forefront.
at one point I did, but I forgot. I will admit that. That was one of the things you remember as a kid, but you forget as you get older.
I'm saying this shit is all bandwagon bullshit.
Well, there have been different times, different periods in our history where people have burned the flag and stepped on the flag and all of that stuff. That's not brand new.
I'm talking about
It's
the
just
flag.
happening. We're talking about the flag, and we're talking about the Star Spangled Banner, and we also are talking about 4th of July. That's not brand new. It's just happening.
Okay. Who is that? Whoever you is, you gotta
That's
mute yourself.
brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah, or to cut the background. Okay, now, so Mrs. KP, I want to know, do you feel some type of way or are you outraged that people don't celebrate Independence Day for the reason that it's even a holiday?
Do I feel outraged when people don't celebrate it?
Yes, like for the representation that it's for. Like, just because it's Independence Day, people don't celebrate it for what it's for. Are you outraged by that?
Well, I think I don't know that I'm all right with it. I mean, I feel like a lot of people do that with most of our holidays, like Memorial Day, Christmas, and, I think people turn it into something more commercial and self-serving than what they really stand for.
Well, Christmas can't be a universal holiday. That doesn't even make sense.
Well, we're not including every person because we know not everyone believes in it. I think people, it doesn't outrage me. It doesn't outrage me that people go on picnics and have drinks on the 4th of July. I don't really care what other people do.
Right.
I really don't. As long as they're not hurting other people or insulting other people, I really don't care what people do.
Then why does Kaepernick's opinion bother you some?
As long as they don't make their problem my problem, I'm okay.
Then why does Kaepernick's opinion bother you some?
Well, I don't have a problem with him personally doing that. When I see that, it bothers me, my personal self, because I understand, or I feel like I understand what that means to people that I know or have known, and so it bothers me to see them hurt by things like that.
I guess so.
Like it would be the same as it bothers me to see people flying the rebel flag in the North knowing it hurts other people. I don't care that they do it. It bothers me that it hurts other people when they see it.
You are considerate of others.
I am.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm one of those too. That's one reason why I try not to talk about people like that. That's why the rules on the show.
I have to say something real fast when it comes to that submissive. I understand what you're saying, but I think about, just to kind of play the other side of the court. Like I kind of think it may bother some people as well when they are flossing the flag and when they are praising America and all that stuff. And I mean, I understand why, but it may bother them too because they have sour memories, or they come from families that were treated, very wrong by a lot of the American people in power at the time, and probably even to this day. I think it kind of goes both ways in that. Speaking of power, hey power, to this very day, I mean, it could kind of work both ways. You know what I mean?
It has to go both ways. There's an equal opposite. So so I feel bad for these people when they see this happening. I equally, on the opposite side, feel as bad for the other folks who feel bad for what that meant for their people or for, their families.
Okay, can I say something? I just have to hit a couple
Yeah, go
points
ahead,
that
man.
I couldn't really hit in the chat. As far as Kaepernick, I hear everybody saying, "Well, what's he complaining about? He has $100 million." But that's why I told KP earlier, you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth, because that's the main argument we hear as black people. How come you guys don't do more for yourself or speak up to help this person or speak up or whatever? So when a guy speaks up because he has $100 million, is he supposed to say, "Well, I got mine," and forget everybody else? Because that's what I keep
Oh
hearing people.
no, dog. They made more of an outrage about him coming and being raised by white parents because he was adopted. They made more of an outrage about that shit, let alone the money.
Well, that's another reason to doubt what people are saying, because if anybody has any true perspective of the situation, it would be him, growing up being raised by white people and being black or part black, whatever you want to call him. So he has both perspectives that a lot of people don't get, and so for him to speak up, I think it's even more valid because he has both perspectives.
But people don't see it that way. Niggas see it like, oh, you was raised by white folks. You had it good, so I don't know what you complaining about.
And I think what
With
kills.
that argument, you can see either side where folks can come from.
Would you say
It's
that again,
very
KP?
ignorant what you're
You can
thinking.
see either side of that argument there. If you step back and just say, okay, you have your view, but let me look at the other opposing view. You can actually see, okay, I can see why folks will say, shut up. You came from a fucking white family. So you had other opportunities that many blacks, as you're saying, that you're standing up for, didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could look at it that way. But my point is always this: the thing that kills me, like I said in the chat, the thing that kills me the most about white people, they have all this outrage and all of this stuff that everybody's upset about when it comes to something like this flag and all this type of stuff. But you really see no problem with us reading the Star Spangled Banner as it's written, the whole thing, not the one verse that we choose. And it was written by a guy who owned slaves, who thought black people were inferior. And you really expect us to be joyful about standing up, putting our heart over, and singing this song? I mean, that's idiotic to me. And for people to not want to acknowledge that doesn't make sense. That's why we are where we are as a country, because
Okay.
we have to first be
So
honest about.
explain what you get out of the third verse.
Explain. Well, the third verse. It's not just what I get; is what the verse was intending to say was, it was a discouraging type. I don't know if I'm using the right word, but for runaway slaves. This guy owned slaves, and that verse was intended to be. Everybody else was free, pretty much. The rest of the song was about everybody else being free, but not the slaves, the black slaves.
Okay, this is going to be my argument. Do you understand what a hireling is?
Yes.
That's someone who was hired by a government.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much you were saying to the British government, I don't give a damn if you got people fighting for you that you hire, or you got slaves hired, or you have slaves fighting against America. We're going to kill them all.
And that would be a very valid point if the guy who wrote the song didn't own slaves and didn't say out of his own mouth that he thought black people were inferior. So just on that alone, I don't think any black person should stand up and salute the flag or sing that song.
Okay, but here's a question like this. Here's a question this is see how we say this. That's been history.
Okay, hold on. Let's take a drink. Hold on.
All right, go ahead.
So then you can't say that the Star Spangled Banner is so racist and prejudiced, then you should say that the writer is, not the message of the damn national anthem then.
Well,
Because
I'm
if
still
you
gonna say this.
said that we're talking
I'm,
about British who you hire to fight against us, then that has nothing to do with racism.
no, that's not what he. That's what you said. That's not what he said in his own words.
Didn't you just
So I
agree what a
can't.
hireling was?
Yeah, but that's what you said. That's not. I'm
So
reading
do you agree
a
that he was
different.
writing that for the British or no?
No, I don't agree that he was writing that for
So
the
he was
British.
saying, I don't care who our government hire, we're going to kill our own people that we're hiring to fight
We're
a
gonna
war.
kill.
What sense
We're
does
gonna
that make?
we're gonna kill the runaway slaves. What sense did it make for them to do the stuff they did to us,
What sense would
inbreeding
it?
and all that kind of
What
stuff?
sense would it? You're in a wartime that I'm going to kill slaves and people that we hired to fight against us, to fight
Not
with
just
us.
slaves. He did not. He wasn't talking about just slaves. It specifically said runaway slaves. So he wasn't going to just kill the slaves of there staying and happy to be slaves. He was going to kill the slaves and make an example out of slaves that ran away.
Who the hell got the squeak to it?
That's
That's
a
my that's
dog.
my little Yorkie, man. You have to excuse
Okay.
me. But that's my only problem, man. It's so easy for people to just dismiss everything that had happened to us throughout history and to just tell us to get over it. And that's amazing to me, considering all the stuff that has been done and continues to be done to us.
Okay, I have a question. This is not a sarcastic question. This is really something I don't know. Do people tell Jewish people to get over the Holocaust?
Not at all. Never.
Okay.
We
They don't.
actually
They don't
went to
really.
the Holocaust Museum, and KP had a moment at the. I mean, I was just moved by the whole thing. I've done a ton of reading on it, and so we go down there, and then as we sat and listened to this one lady speak, KP was having a moment trying to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah,
I mean, right, wrong is wrong.
we afford them all the time they need to get over it. We've given them money to get over it. We're giving them all kind of stuff that has never been done for us. But in turn, everybody wants us to get over it and move on and forget about it.
Hey, Power, listen up.
Even though I
Oh,
hear
sorry.
people talking about as a veteran, people talking about PTSD when they were in the military 30 years ago, and everybody is sympathetic, but you don't think of people that were enslaved for 400 years and then came out of that Jim Crow and then came all the stuff that still goes on today. You don't think we're gonna have some psychological issues that nobody seems to have pity for? They just want us to get over it. Shut up. Stop complaining.
Also,
Hey, let me say something. Power.
Wait a minute.
I have to say this
Go
here.
ahead, KB.
Where do you see in the national anthem that it says "runaway slave"?
I might have been paraphrasing. It might not say exactly runaway slaves, but
It says slave.
the verse is referring to runaway slaves. Just read up on it a little bit. We can come back to it. I'll read
Yeah,
up on it.
somebody
You
needs to
read up on
explain the
it.
lyrics.
We can come back to
Explain
it.
the lyrics and the whole little, code that's in there, because I never heard it exactly.
Say that again.
Read
Select.
the lyrics in the third verse.
Yes, and please break it down to me, because I've never heard nothing about this, and I don't know if it's just some damn Da Vinci Code type of code that we just ain't understanding. So if it's a reach, I'm gonna call you on it, man. If it just sound like a reach, it better be a clear understanding. They talking about slavery.
Okay. Third verse. Let me get a better copy of it. This is like the original copy.
Well, I do admit we are coming up to our 2.5-hour mark. You want to start the new show talking about the third verse, and we do an hour on that?
Well, it's not gonna last an hour, but yeah, we can do it.
We can do that.
It's gonna be a quick dismantle. So.
Quick dismantle. We're gonna go into the third verse, and we're actually gonna talk about what that does here, and then after that we'll go we'll go to a free for all. But we're going to talk about the third verse. I'll go ahead and set up the show now. Go ahead and bear with me, people in the chat room. Give me 2 minutes. I want to thank you guys for coming out to the show. Please like, share, subscribe, and definitely donate because that's what keeps the show going. And we will see you in 5 minutes on Debating Woes. Stay in the chat room, people. I will post a link to the new show in this chat room to move you over.
Yeah,
We'll see
I
you
just
guys
took it out.
on the flip side. Say goodbye, everybody.
Debating. Woo!
Bye, y'all.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Whoa!